What's going on too? How's everybody doing? So today we're gonna talk about picking up LTL company. I constantly get asked, what company should I go to? Do you recommend this company? Do you recommend that company? What do you know about this company? What do you know about that company? I've always said, guys, if you're interested in a particular company, you need to do your research. If you're interested in ABF, there's 2 YouTubers out there that do content on ABF. If you're interested in Saia, there's a guy that does content for that. If you're interested in Fedex Freight, Old Dominion, Estes, there's YouTubers out there that work at these companies. If you're interested in Cooper, you can watch me. But regardless of the videos we put out, it's still up to you to do your own research. And like I said before, your experience is going to depend on the terminal you run out of. Now, of course, as I said before, every company has their standard handbook, but every terminal is going to be ran a little different. And one thing too that you need to keep in mind is the area that you live in, because every LTL company has the city that they shine in. Meaning, in some areas, we'll use an example. So for instance, Southeastern might be big in one city, but it might be small in another city. We'll use AAA Cooper, Tampa, we're pretty decent size, but there's other cities, for example, we'll use the North Atlanta terminal. It's small, Let's talk about ABF real quick. We have an ABF, there's an ABF terminal in Tampa, small. I think they have under 50 doors. Now, if you go to maybe Atlanta, it's huge. Hold on, y'all. So another example, Saia, there's a Saia terminal in Tampa. They're small, but if you go to Dallas, for example, it's huge. So like I said, every terminal has their areas that they shine in. Now for my area, most of them are pretty big. We have, and by the way, every major city is gonna have pretty much all the same companies. And if I forgot to mention, we're all the same, whether you go to Cooper, whether you go to Old Dominion, whether you go to Averett, whether you go to Central Transport, wherever you go, it's all the same. We all pull the same freight. We all go pretty much to the same customers. The only difference is how much that company charges to ship that product, and the policies and the pay. Now, even if you decide to go the union route, Trucker D, what are some union companies? You got ABF and you got Yellow. Those are your 2 union LTL companies. Now, they still pull the same freight as all the other companies. The only difference is the money and the contract and whatever other stuff that they do in union. But also, if you want to do LTL, again, look at the size of the terminal that you want to go to. Going back to my first example, Southeastern might be big in one area, but small in another area. So you need to look at that. Are you looking to apply to a hub? What is a hub? Those are going to be like your break terminals. Those are your huge, massive terminals. Are you going to apply to a dark terminal, end of the line terminal? Those are going to be your small terminals that aren't ran 24/7 or 24/5, and you may not have as many opportunities. So you need to ask yourself, is it worth going to a hub where you have more opportunities, or do you want to go to an end of the line terminal? Now, I've talked about the difference between the 2. I'm gonna link that video in the description. But nonetheless, guys, all these LTL companies are pretty much the same. Again, the only thing that's going to be different is the pay and some of the policies that particular company has. All of them, you're going to need your hazmat, you're going to need your tankers. You may or may not need your triples and doubles, but as I've said in other videos, there's a few companies out there that only pull vans, but majority of them, you're gonna need all your endorsements. As far as experience, there's some they're gonna want a year. There's some that'll take you fresh out of school. But let me touch on that real quick, because I know I get a lot of y'all to ask me about that too. That's also going to depend on the terminal manager, because even though they have the standard guidelines, they might tweak their requirements. So one Cooper terminal, or we won't use Cooper, we'll use Estes as an example. So one Estes terminal, you know, they might take you fresh out of school. Another Estes terminal, they might say, no, we need you to have a year experience. So again, it's up to you to ask those questions. Let's touch on restrictions real quick. That's another question I get asked. Will they hire you with a automatic restriction? You know, it's just gonna depend on the terminal. Some terminals, the terminal managers, they might take you with a restriction. Another terminal might say, no, you need to get that restriction taken off. Again, with the line haul, because that's another question I get asked a lot. I didn't turn this into a Q&A, but I know a lot of y'all want to know about the line haul. Can you come straight in and get line haul? Some terminals and some companies, you can walk right into line haul. Other terminals, it doesn't work that way. Other terminals, you know, you're going to have to start off in the city and get on their quote-unquote waiting list. You know, it might take you a few months to get line haul. It might take you a few years. So it also just depends on when you apply and the terminal that you're applying to. Now, as far as what terminal is easy for you to move up in, I would say hubs. You know, why? Because hubs are bigger, they're gonna have more runs, and this works on either side. You know, hubs, they're gonna have a lot of P&D runs, they're gonna have a lot of line haul runs. Your end of the line, your dark terminals, they're not gonna have a lot of runs, and it's gonna be hard for you to move up. So if you're at the bottom of the totem pole, you can pretty much bet your ass that you're gonna stay at the bottom of the totem pole unless they add another run that happens to be smaller than what you already have. So, like I said, I'm gonna turn this into a Q&A. So I hope this answers all of y'all's questions. If y'all have any additional questions, you already know what to do. Hit the emails. And as I always tell y'all, thank you to all my day one subscribers. Thank you to my new subscribers. I appreciate all of you guys. And as I always tell y'all, y'all take it easy and y'all stay safe.